What is up, Boston Silkscar fans, and welcome to PGL Season 5. I am your coach, Norsey Plays, and today we're going to be doing our draft recap video. Over the weekend, we all got together, all the coaches of the league, and drafted in a new sort of drafting system than our usual. We've gotten rid of S ranks. If you guys remember, we're pretty much one of the only leagues out there that included Ubers, but only a select majority, like a select few Ubers were allowed into our tiers. But we've gone away with that system with the introduction of this generation because there's a lot of new Pokemon to play with. So we've gotten rid of all of that and went with a point system where we had like 1,250 points. All the Pokemon cost, whatever amount depending on what tier they were in. That being said, there are some things that people would consider Ubers still in our league, but not quite as much of them. And of course, on top of that, we had very few Megas to pick from because not all of the Mega Stones were in Pokemon Sun and Moon yet. So that being said, draft was both more limited than before in terms of that stuff, but also we had a whole new generation of Pokemon to look through. So tons of awesome stuff. Now, I want to lead off with saying that I am sick, so this will be a shorter recap video than probably usual. At least it might be, who knows. I tend to ramble a lot, so we'll have to wait and see. But anyways, let's jump into it, and I want to talk about my draft overall first. I want to say that I got sniped a lot. My draft is looking a little bit funky, but I'm really tempted to, see week one how it ends up working out. If it works out well, then I'm very happy, but it's one of those things where this isn't a draft that I would normally pick, a team that I would normally pick. I got sniped a lot, and we'll talk about that as we go into it. But my first round pick, and everybody's gonna be like, why was this your first round pick? And honestly, I don't know. I thought it was going to go a lot quicker, so I was kind of scared it was going to get taken. I picked Toxapex, which is definitely not a typical round one pick, but I was thinking, you know what? It's a new generation, and Toxapex is probably one of the best competitive Pokemon from this generation. So I'm going to grab Toxapex really early and be, my tank Pokemon. So I took Toxapex really early because I was thinking people are going to want the new Pokemon on their team this season. And, Toxapex is a really great Pokemon. It gets tons of stuff. It gets Haze to get rid of stat changes. It's got, it can sip Toxic Spikes. It's got Scald, so it can burn. It's got everything, guys. This is a great Pokemon. It's even got Recover to try and keep it alive a little bit longer. It's also got some pretty great defensive stats with 50 HP, a little lackluster, but those defenses truly make up for it at 152 defense and 142 special defense. This thing is a beast, and cannot wait to use this thing. Glad I picked it up. I definitely probably could have waited another round to pick it up, but to be honest, I didn't want to take that risk, which, by the way, we were third to last in the draft order, so a lot of picks had already happened beforehand. If some of the Pokemon that got drafted round one hadn't been drafted before me, I might have gone with that. Like Victini got taken second round. You guys know how much I love Victini. I would have probably taken that. But that being said, we got Toxapex round one, so probably didn't need to take it that round, but ended up going with it. Its ability is also pretty great, Regenerator. I was trying to pair this up with another Regenerator user, but unfortunately it ended up getting snagged late before I could get to it. But anyways, moving on to the next Pokemon, we've got Mimikyu, another Pokemon, probably not deserving of a round 2 pick, but I think it pairs pretty well with Toxapex, and its disguise ability is great. Absolutely love that disguise ability, and I think it could be a really great setup sweeper, or he gets a free Swords Dance pretty much, So I cannot wait to use Mimikyu. Probably didn't need to pick him up round 2. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm on a lot of cold medicine, so maybe it was that. But I ended up picking up Mimikyu. I'm very excited to use Mimikyu because I think it's probably my second favorite Pokemon that came out this generation. And I think it's a very, very solid one. I cannot wait to use it. Rocking a 96 speed. It's even faster than I thought. I thought it was 92. 96 speed, 105 defense, 80 defense, 90 attack, 55 HP. It's got some decent defenses behind it. Plus, it's got decent speed as well. Like I was saying, access to Shadow Sneak, Swords Dance, things like that. Mimikyu's going to put in some work this season. I can feel it. Notice me, senpai. Pretty sure that's what the notice name is going to be if it fits. So there we go. Moving on to our third pick. At this point, I was thinking I need a little bit more speed and probably a special attacker. So I picked up Latios. Now, Latios, Season 1 of the PGL, did not really do too much for us. I'm hoping this season I can kind of figure out how to use it a little bit better. The unfortunate thing is that this season there is a lot of fairies going around, but pretty much Latios at this point was one of the fastest things left, and it has a pretty deep move pool to go through. So, definitely a good choice in that regard. Plus, it has Levitate, and I was definitely looking for something that either was flying or a Levitate user because Toxapex weak to ground. Even though if I'm running a physically defensive Toxapex, it can eat earthquakes fairly well. I still wanted to have a Levitate user so that we could try to, mitigate that fear of the earthquakes. I did not want to have an earthquake weak team. I feel like having an earthquake weak team is one of the worst things in draft formats because a lot of things get EQ. It's 100 base power. It's 100% accuracy, It's just one of those moves that's like, you always run it. It's such a great move, and a lot of Pokemon have it. So I did not want to have a crazy weak team, the Earthquake, and I was really trying to pay attention to that. So I like the Levitate ability. We'll have to wait and see how Latios works out, but of course, the 110 speed is going to be nice to have. 110 defense, 130 special attack, 80 defense, and 80 HP. Of course, also the 90 attack, but, 90 attack, whatever. But of course, it gets all sorts of fun stuff: Tailwind, Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball, Draco Meteor, Calm Mind, all sorts of different stuff that we can run on this guy right here. So should be pretty fun. Next up, I wanted to get a spinner and also something to take on Tapu Koko. So I got Donphan. Now, the only thing with Donphan is going up against Tapu Koko's. Of course, Tapu Koko does get Grass Knot, but we are physically defensive. Donphan can take a Grass Knot, sort of. So, I don't know. We'll have to mess around with that a little bit and see how that goes. But I definitely wanted something for Tapu Koko because Tapu Koko is... Oh my god, my bottle just popped. It was so loud it scared me. Did you guys hear that? Oh my god. But anyways, we got Banjo the Donphan coming back for Season 5. That is 5 seasons in total that we have had Donphan on the team. Last season, we did not draft Donphan, but we ended up trading and getting Donphan pretty early. So, Donphan, aka Banjo, welcome back to the team. You are the only one on this team again. Just every season we managed to get Donphan. So great Rapid Spinner, of course, great Stealth Rock Setter. Both of those things are something I wanted, and we ended up getting in a ground type Donphan, which I needed to hopefully take on Tapu Koko. So we'll have to wait and see how it works out in the end. Of course, we have the sturdy ability, so if somehow Grass Knot does bring us down to that 1 HP, we do have the sturdy, so we can play around with that and see how it goes, and we might be able to take out a Tapu Koko with Donphan, at least scare it a little bit. So we got Banjo, and of course you guys know, typical move sets, knockoff, Rapid Spin, Stone Edge, Earthquake, everything like that under the sun. So we got ourselves Banjo, and of course this is probably the point where I got sniped the most this round. Is I wanted to pick up a fire type because Fire Stab is really, really important draft format. So I think Infernape got taken, Entei got taken, think Arcanine got taken, and I was like, I could go Emboar or, whatever, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to have some fun. I'm going to take Libre. He's my favorite Pokemon ever at this point, and I think it could be fun to use him. So I ended up grabbing Libre, or Incineroar, as you guys may know him as. So hopefully the hidden abilities will come out during the season, and we'll have access to Intimidate. That would be amazing, but currently we only have Blaze. So, yeah, Fire Dark, decent typing, not too great with so many fairies running around, but honestly, I thought it'd be fun to use. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, if we have to trade or dip into free agency with this guy, we will, but I think that Incineroar is going to give us some happy surprises, and we got access to things like Flare Blitz that just does crazy amounts of damage at 120. He's even got Acrobatics, Earthquake, Darkest Lariat, of course, his signature move there. Bulk Up, Nasty Plot. I mean, tons of different things. Willow, U-Turn even. We got a U-Turn user in Incineroar. Taunt. We got a Taunt user in Incineroar. So there was definitely a lot of things. Even Swords Dance, which I don't know if we'll ever really... I mean, I'm sure we can find a way there on that, actually. But, I mean, I think that he was a pretty decent pickup. I do think there's better fire types out there, but like I said, this round, for some reason, everybody was grabbing fire types, and it was just unfortunate. I got sniped so much during, looking for these fire types. And I was looking for a little bit of a faster one too, so it was unfortunate when all the kind of faster ones, base hundreds and stuff, went. But it's cool because we got U-Turn, we got Will-O-Wisp, we got Taunt, all these things inside of Incineroar that are going to be useful in the future. So Incineroar, aka Libre, welcome to the team. Hopefully you get your hidden ability soon. That would be amazing. And we're going to move on to our... was the 6th round pick, Ferrothorn. Now here, I was a little rushed. I was taking my sweet time looking for a Mon to run here. And I don't know, I got a little bit of advice to take Ferrothorn, and I was very hesitant to take it because it, of course, has a 4x weakness to fire, and I hate anything with 4x weaknesses so freaking much. I hate 4x weaknesses, guys. It is the worst. But... here we are. We ended up with a 4x weakness to fire. But then again, Ferrothorn's still a great Mon. It's in OU for a reason. It's going to pair well with Toxapex. If we set up Toxic Spikes, we can also set up, some layers of spikes as well on top of that. Let's see what else. We've got another Stealth Rocker in Ferrothorn. We've got Grass Stab now, Steel Stab for fairies. Things like that. So also another knockoff user, Iron Head. We got stuff to work with. Thunder Wave, of course. We got Thunder Wave user. So definitely a decent Pokemon. I mean, I'm not gonna skip out on this guy right here just because his 4x weakness. I did, after picking Ferrothorn, I did regret it for a second because I noticed Tangrowth was still around, and I would have loved that for a Regenerator core. But unfortunately, I didn't think fast enough, and I ended up taking Ferrothorn before noticing the Tangrowth. Tangrowth actually got taken later, like second to last round, right before I took him, and I got sniped again. But we'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, pretty decent Pokemon right here. Definitely leave some moveset suggestions down below. I've never used a Ferrothorn, so all fairly new to me there. So I'm definitely going to need some advice on this guy. But he definitely has a decent move pool, some decent defenses in 116 special defense, 131 defense, and 74 HP. So looking pretty decent. Of course, when it came around to me, 7th pick, I noticed I'm still a pretty slow team. If you guys haven't noticed, our 2 fastest Mons are at 96 speed and 110 speed. Nothing too crazy there. So I wanted to pick up an electric type and a speedy one at that. So my first thought was I'm going to pick up Thundurus Incarnate, whatever, which is at, I think it's 111 speed. Off the top of my head, I can't fully remember. You know what? I'm going to look it up. Let's look it up. Thundurus. It's 111. Yes, I was right. Okay, so 111 speed. Is what I was hoping for, but unfortunately that got taken. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna grab Jolteon. It's kind of early to grab Jolteon. Although, actually, you know what? 7th round, it wouldn't have been that early. But I was gonna take Jolteon, but somebody did before my turn, and it just all the electric types. Raikou got taken either the round before or this round. So all the electric types were going once again, and I got sniped for every single last one of them. All of my backups got sniped. So I ended up with Thundurus T, which is not bad. It's 101 speed. It's got, 145 special attack, yes. So it's a decent Mon. It's got Volt Absorb, so we can absorb those volts from Tapu Koko if need be. So definitely good in that regard. I was just hoping for a little bit more speed, and I like the abilities of Thundurus Eye a little bit better. But Volt Absorb situationally will be better. So I'm okay with it, but that does add up for a ice weakness on our team, which is something I was looking at. Donphan being weak to ice, Latios being weak to ice, and now Thunderous being weak to ice as well is kind of scary, and it's something I was worried about a little bit in case of Ice Shard users. But once again, not one of the most common offensive typings out there, but it is something that I have to be aware of because up next we have another ice weakness. Aerodactyl. We got Mega Aerodactyl. Kazooie is back on the team. Reason I took this was because if you took a low class Mega, you actually got more points. So you actually got bonus points instead of spending points. So I took Aerodactyl so that later I could get an extra A rank or something like that. So I grabbed Aerodactyl, gave me 50 extra points, which is pretty cool because Aerodactyl may not be the best Mega, but it's fast. It's got 150 speed, 135 attack, which is nothing to really laugh at. So it's definitely a decent mon with Tough Claw's ability. Unfortunately, it doesn't get many moves to actually make use of its ability. Tough Claws gives a 1.3 power to think physical contact moves or something like that. Yeah, contact moves, which he doesn't actually get that many of, to be completely honest. He does get Crunch, which I believe, yeah, counts as a contact move. Dragon Claw, I don't know. I just know that he doesn't get too much variety in his moves that actually make contact, which is unfortunate, but it's not awful either. I definitely think it's a decent Mega, but it does add to our ice weakness, and that is something to watch out for. But other than that, we got another Stealth Rocker, we got a Defogger, we got Tailwind user, Taunt user, what else we got here? I mean, Pursuit, if need be. Kind of some weird stuff, but, you know, it's something to go with, and it gave us some extra points to work with. So, Kazooie, welcome back to the team. Pretty cool. Moving on to our next pick, which was Hitmontop. Now, at this point, surprisingly, Conkeldurr was still there, and I was really thinking about taking Conkeldurr, but I kind of in the end decided I didn't really have enough points for it. Plus, with all the fairies running amok, I didn't want to have Conkeldurr there as like this main offensive force, etc. or whatever. But I was wanting to grab Hitmontop so that I could get another spinner. I felt that having a second spinner could be pretty important, so I don't have to bring Banjo to every game and be so predictable. Plus, I mean, he does get access. Hitmontop does get access to Bullet Punch, which is something that Conkeldurr does not. Bullet Punch could be very good going up against some of those Tapus with that fairy typing. So many fairies this generation. It's something to definitely look out for. Oh, that's right. And he gets Fake Out, which also Incineroar does get. That just reminded me really quick. Incineroar has actually a really great move pool. But yeah. Mach Punch, Bullet Punch, Rapid Spin, you know, all that good stuff that comes with a Hitmontop. Plus, I mean, decently defensive Pokemon, 110 special defense, 95 defense, HP 50, and it was pretty cheap Pokemon as well. So welcome Hitmontop to the team. By the way, guys, I am taking nickname suggestions for all these mons besides Banjo and Kazooie, because of course they're always called Banjo and Kazooie. Notice Me Senpai and Libre as well are already nicknamed, but other than that, the other Pokemon, you know, I'm open to some discussion. So next up, I was just kind of looking for some help at this point. I asked some of my buddies, it's Sock and Papa C, if they knew of any fast mons that were still left that they thought could do well on my team. They came back with me with Keldeo, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna just trust you guys on this one. You guys know better than me. They're a lot better at battling than me. Of course, you guys know I'm still pretty newbie at this, so they pointed me in the direction of Keldeo with 108 speed, so definitely helps with our lacking speed to pick this guy up. The only problem is, of course, it is another fighting type, which gives us another fairy weakness. But at this point, we've only got, I believe, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 fairy weaknesses, which is kind of scary. But of course, when we know a fairy's coming, we're only gonna, we're gonna play around it. We're not gonna bring all of our fairy weaknesses going up against this crazy fairy type or something like that, So we did get Keldeo, which is great because Keldeo is also a special attacker, which is something I was looking for. It's got some great moves. I mean, what is that freaking move? I mean, it's got access to Scald, which is great, but it also has Secret Sword, Sacred Sword, Poison Jab, which are all physical, so not too great there. Hydro Pump. Let's see. what else we got here? He's got access to Aqua Jet. I mean, his attack stat doesn't really bode too well for physical moves, but we could always run it mixed or something like that if need be. But yeah, he's got some decent moves. Taunt user, a sword stance user. You know, you got some wiggle room here to figure out. And yeah, we'll see how Keldeo ends up working out in the end. And our final pick for the season is Heatran. Now, I already had a fire type in Incineroar, but I thought that it could be good to get a second one because we needed a little bit more bulk on the team. Heatran's fairly bulky. We just have to watch out for those earthquakes, which really stinks. But other than the earthquakes, I mean, this guy's got some decent bulk, 106 on both defensive, 91 HP. 130 special attack. I mean, he's pretty well-rounded Pokemon. Of course, he's got, things like drawing blanks right now, guys. He's got access to a lot of strong fire moves like Heat Wave, and what is the one it's on the tip of my tongue. Eruption, guys. Come on now. I'm just kidding, because user's HP thing. But I mean, full HP, man. Eruption's gonna. Okay, I'm gonna shut up. We got Fire Blast. We got Flash Cannon, which will be really helpful against some fairies. Dark Pulse. Some decent moves. Will-O-Wisp, Taunt. We got a lot of Taunt users, which is very interesting because past seasons I've only ever had like one. So I don't know if we'll ever run it like that, but we also have another Stealth Rocker in Heatran. So I'm definitely bringing the hazards this season, guys. It might be a little bit of a stallier season compared to usual. We'll have to see, but I'm definitely open for other coaches that are watching this. I'm open to trades, and I'll definitely be looking into free agency as I kind of feel out my team throughout the weeks. Of course, we can't make any free agent picks until after our week 1 battles, so it'll be great to take these mons into week 1, test them out, see how they do, and see what needs to be changed and stuff. This could be our final team. Who knows? It could work out perfectly or not. I'm very on edge because I've never really drafted like this before. This is completely different style draft than I usually draft, and it's crazy and it's all over the place in my opinion. I got sniped so much that I just panicked when picking things, but I think in the end it turned out all right. I would love to hear what you guys think down below, and hope to see you guys all in the PGL season 5 week 1 battle. See you guys all then. Till then, stay frosty and peace out.